Our new newscast earlier today. You're prepping some stuff for 5 and 6 tonight. So you'll be able to see Diane Phillips on WTO 11 tonight at 5 and 6. Certainly hope you tune in. Give us a breakdown of kind of how the atmosphere is just kind of primed for more heavy rainfall.
Right. I'm sure everybody's been outside today and noticed that it's so muggy and sticky outside. So that's all moisture. That's water in our air. So when we have all that moisture, that makes it really easy to have these heavy downpours.
It's kind of like wringing it out, right? We're taking kind of this soggy atmosphere. And if we got any friends down there in southern Henry County, look toward Holgate. We've got some good thunder boomers. The downpours just working across southern Henry County. They've already pushed through Defiance. And if you've been in Defiance, you know you got another round of heavy rainfall. Grand Rapids to Haskins, now pushing through the Toledo metro. It's a little steady down toward Maumee and Perrysburg, northern Wood County, but look at that cluster of thunder and lightning that is just right around Elmore and Genoa, headed toward Oak Harbor. Heads up in Oak Harbor. If maybe you got some loved ones there, tell them, yeah, here comes the rain yet again.
Right, or even those on Put-in Bay. If you're enjoying the afternoon there, enjoying some summer fun, well, you can see it is on your doorstep. It is just now coming over Lake Erie, so if you have also some friends that are boating, you may want to give them a call to say, hey, you're going to want to head back here because we have some thunderstorms.
They're moving in pretty quick. South Bass Island down to Catawba Island going to be sort of engulfed in some storm action very quickly. Really torrential amounts of rainfall coming from some of these storms. The precipitation that we've seen out of this, Diane, this is Doppler radar estimates. Not an exact science, but more of an estimation of what's going on and where you see some of these areas of deeper greens, darker greens, or indications of yellow. These are more likelihood an inch or more of rainfall that's been coming down. So as we expected, torrential downpours that have been showing up.
That's right, and we're going to continue to track this line because it's going to continue pushing off towards our east. So if you're not seeing this line of thunderstorms now, everybody's going to have a chance of seeing that. We'll have Chris put it into motion for us.
It's a pretty solid line of storms across northwest Ohio and slow moving in the respect that in about 15 to 20 minutes, you could get about an inch of rainfall. So rainfall rates with some of these thunderstorms could be in excess of 2 to 3 inches per hour. If it was to rain the whole hour, I think it's mainly a downpour for about 20-25 minutes, which gives many areas a quick inch of rainfall. Saw it myself, even across the Toledo metro, there was some ponding of water on the roadways, a lot of our farm fields, enough of the rainfall. And we're just kind of getting it started, Diane, aren't we?
I was just going to say, yeah, if you're tuning in and joining us from the Findlay area, that line is going to continue pushing off towards the east. So if you're going to be driving 75 right around that commute time frame, you're going to want to be keeping an eye on the roadways.
Very cautious.
It's going to be a concern.
Very cautious with that, yeah, because it will be sweeping through the southern and eastern end of the viewing area. Then what's up next beyond this? You know, when we look at data and we look at weather models and we look at the information that comes in, when we notice unusual events, we kind of highlight it with a first alert day, and that's exactly what we've got for Friday. We're going to talk, in addition to what we've seen today, where many areas are going to be around an inch of rainfall, tomorrow night into Saturday, an additional 1 to 2 inches of rainfall. So that means some areas are going to come away with 2 to 3 inches of rainfall. Potentially out there, there's scenarios, Diane, and you probably have noticed these as well. We've talked behind the scenes about them. There's indications this could even be a higher end event with even higher rainfall totals.
Right, so you're going to want to make sure that you're prepared and ready for this large amount of rain, because if we do see multiple inches, that means that if you rely on a sump pump, you're going to want to make sure that's functioning today. You don't want to wait till even tomorrow
This is like
morning.
the most nervous thing of ever as a homeowner. It's like, oh, do I hear the sump pump coming on? Oh, yeah, okay, it came on. I can relax. You know, I wake up in the morning after a heavy rainfall, I go check the basement and say, okay, it's dry for right now. Because I tell you what, you probably have been there. I've been there as well. I've walked down to a flooded basement before. It is not a fun thing. So keep an eye on the sump pumps, keep an eye on the basements.
Yeah, you just want to do all that prep work today, because tomorrow you don't want to have to do it in the rain when it's coming down, and it's also coming down at a pretty quick pace.
So let's talk the future here, because you're getting into it right now, okay? We're not just talking one wave of storms. That's what we're seeing basically right now. And this is our hour-by-hour forecast, a really good what we call initialization of some of the data showing up, which means it's picking up very accurately on that northeast to southwest oriented squall line, or line of storms at least, that are coming across the area, slowly moving to the south and to the east. Diane, what's next for people by tomorrow morning?
Right, so you're going to want to make sure that you have your rain gear when you step outside, because that's when wave 2 or round 2 is going to be happening around 7 a.m. We'll still have some showers. Those are still going to be going, and heavy downpours even then, where you see those pockets of yellow. We can't rule those out even at 7 o'clock in the morning. So that morning time frame on Friday, that is when we're going to see that round 2.
So the troublesome thing about this too is it's wave after wave. So this is wave 2 tomorrow morning. Next wave is going to come in Friday afternoon and into Friday evening. And this is when things actually become even more intense. So what's happening here is we're getting a frontal boundary that just stalls out across the area. And when this happens in the middle of summer, where our atmosphere is just loaded with moisture, it typically does not mean good things as far as heavy rainfall and the potential for flooding. So we're going to get a frontal boundary tomorrow afternoon and evening that just absolutely stalls out. There's going to be waves of low pressure that then ride along that boundary, and it's going to squeeze out even more rainfall. Diane, watch this Friday night into Saturday and take us kind of through what's happening here.
Right, so we're going to be transitioning from that front to where we're actually going to have those waves, as Chris was talking about. That's when they're going to start to come into play. So as those come through, that's going to be Friday night into Saturday morning. So that's when we're actually expecting some of our largest rain totals, the heaviest rain during that time. And then finally Saturday morning when you wake up, hopefully we're on that tail end, but that is still going to be that final and fourth wave of the system. All
right, so once again, to recap here, first alert, Chief Meteorologist Chris Vickers, along with meteorologist Diane Phillips. We're keeping you covered right now, Facebook Live. We're about 50 minutes from our coverage on WTOL 11, so go ahead, you take the TV remote. I want you to tune into WTOL 11. If you've got any questions or comments, we're here for you. I've got Diane that's kind of monitoring the comments. We've got our digital staff as well that's kind of taking a look at things. You're probably sick and tired of the rain. I get it, but we do have to talk how much more rain is going to be coming into the area. Now, we tweak the data, we tweak the numbers, model runs come in multiple times a day, and we continue to analyze this. We've kept a very consistent forecast with the amount of rainfall, and here's what we're expecting. Widespread rainfall totals as we go through the duration of this, which includes tonight, tomorrow night, and Saturday. I'm going to give you a wide range of generally 1 to 3 inches of total rainfall. And as Diane and I mentioned, there are some indications that if we get repeated downpours, there could even be a few isolated totals that may exceed that rainfall range. And many areas already have seen 1 inch of rainfall just with the storms that are coming across the area right now, so not out of the question for tomorrow and tomorrow night to get another 1 to 2 inches, which could push some areas over 3 inches or more of total rainfall.
Right, and now that we've kind of opened this can of rainfall, we're going to continue to see that. So even behind that line, we could still see a little bit of rain shower activity for this evening. So if you do have outdoor plans, or if you want to go and grab some groceries, then you're going to want to make sure that you kind of do that. Here, after this first line passes, you might be able to catch a little bit of a break before, again, then we start to see more of that rainfall push through. Because once we get through wave 1, wave 2 is going to be right on its heels.
It is going to be right on its heels, and really just wave after wave that's going to come through. There is some lightning associated with this, so I know it's been a tough week to try to get baseball games in, t-ball games, maybe you've just spent some time outdoors. Just kind of a good reminder as well, you know, if you're hearing lightning or hearing thunder, you're close enough to be struck by lightning, so keep that in mind. And we're seeing some of that across southern Henry County, back into Paulding County, and actually a pretty decent cluster of some showers and some storms that are now moving into Wood County, right around Bowling Green. That actually just rolled through Weston, their State Route 235 at Route 6. That's where a really torrential downpour is. Heads up in Bowling Green. You are now minutes, if not seconds, away from the skies really opening up for some really heavy rainfall. It's raining really heavy just north of Bowling Green on Dixie Highway up toward 582 and into Perrysburg Township. The rain continues to come down. Look at that little resurgence too. You know, for a moment we thought we were done with it. We can actually get in a little bit closer with this, Diane. I have a feeling we're going to see a pretty torrential downpour that's occurring right now down toward Dixie Highway.
Right, and just kind of viewing that, you can see that on roadways, visibility is going to be hard, but we also haven't talked about what we can expect as far as severe weather. So far we don't have any watches, we don't have any warnings, so that's good news for us. We could still have some stronger storms, but as these roll through, we're not really seeing much as far as rotation, so our tornado risk is on the low end, very, very minimal, to where you can see that bullseye is actually towards Illinois. So here in Northwest Ohio and Southeast Michigan, we really have to just worry about about these heavy downpours and then some gusty winds that could reach the surface as well.
Yeah, no doubt about that. You know, the bigger threat of stronger severe storms is generally going to be this area out here that's across central Illinois, Indiana. Not out of the question, as you said, maybe a stronger storm or two. A biggest threat with that, Diane, would likely be maybe what we call a wet microburst, which is just some winds that are driven by a thunderstorm that's collapsing and bringing down some heavy rain and some downpours. So that's a possibility. But, you know, as far as any storm reports, I haven't seen really any across the area today. There was a really big cluster of storms yesterday across Iowa last night that actually prompted numerous tornadoes. We're not seeing that twisting in the atmosphere for our area, so we don't expect anything like that. There haven't been any reports of any severe weather yet, so for the most part, outside of maybe some gusty winds, we should be in pretty decent shape this evening.
Right, and someone had asked, let me look to see, Anne, she was wondering about the concert series tomorrow in Promenade Park. I am a little bit worried that the rain could spoil our fun for tomorrow night.
Cool in the gang, right?
Yes.
Boom, man. Looking forward to that, right? Live music downtown. For Ann and for others maybe that are just joining us right now, First Alert Chief Meteorologist Chris Vickers along with meteorologist Diane Phillips. Couple waves. We'll recap this one more time, and then we'll get our details together for the 5 o'clock newscast tonight, right? That's going to be coming up soon. Wave 1 happening right now. That's moving across the area. Should begin to diminish over the next couple of hours, but still may really hang around through about 7:30, 8 o'clock. So we'll have activity on radar this evening. You'll be covering not only our early evening shows, or at least some of them, but our Fox show on Fox 36 at 7 o'clock.
That's right. Yep, that's when I'll kind of be monitoring the back half of the system kind of as things are wrapping up. But then hopefully we can get a little bit of a break to where then on Friday morning, though, that's when we'll have wave 2. So you're going to want to tune in. And Ryan, he will be on air then, and he's going to be covering that second wave of rainfall to kick off our Friday.
We hesitate to call a day an absolute washout because there may be a couple breaks in some of the steadier and heavier rainfall. So we kind of shy away from washout, but there will be several rounds or waves of torrential rainfall. Next wave then Friday afternoon, Friday evening, and this one could bring some more torrential downpours, tropical downpours, where it just kind of lets loose and the skies let loose. That's Friday evening. And then Friday evening into Saturday morning, the low pressure system that we talked about rides along that front, spins up more heavy rain and more downpours. That should continue into Saturday morning. And rainfall totals, in addition to what we're seeing this evening, they're going to be extensive. We're looking at rainfall totals 1 to as much as 3 inches of total rainfall. And perhaps if this was to be an event that overachieved, if that makes sense for our Facebook viewers right now, it just means it goes to the high end of our guidance or perhaps beyond what we expected or what is the typical range of what our forecast is. If it overachieves, there could be some areas that go over 3 inches of rainfall.
Potentially, yes. And it is going to be isolated in some spots. But also, if you do see your town on here and go, oh, I may not get as much rain, I still would not let your guard down because this can fluctuate just a couple miles to where your neighbors just down the street may not see as much rain as what you could pick up. So again, don't let your guard down because these showers and thunderstorms can really pop up and bring a lot of rain in a short period of time.
Boy, this has been fun hanging out with everybody, though. Good hanging out with you as well.
Yes.
And we'll do it again today at 5 o'clock, coming up in about 40 minutes. You'll see us in actually about 20 minutes. Quick update on WTOL 11 prior to our newscast. And we'll get things rolling 5, 6 o'clock. Just finishing up the final details of everything we're going to be talking about. But appreciate you guys tuning in as well. We'll keep an eye on some of these comments if you have questions. But let's all be prepared for widespread heavy rainfall over the next 36 to 48 hours, taking us all the way through Saturday morning, where we could get some localized flooding. River levels going to be on the rise. Of course, as Diane mentioned as well, keep an eye on basements and sump pumps. And of course, our farm fields, they really can't handle much more rainfall, so it's going to be kind of a tough, tricky situation.
Yes, and don't forget, tomorrow we do have that first alert day, so you're going to want to make sure that you are weather aware tomorrow.
Have a great day.